really associate Ireland with oysters, but maybe I'm off the mark there.
Oh yeah, well it's like, you talk about the centres of oysters in the world, and there was always London, Paris, New York, but Maryland, Ireland, even Toronto. There's
Toronto.
There are some
Really?
there are some new capitals of oysters now in the world. But it's such an honour to be here. I've all my life.
You've never been, right?
I've never been to Maryland, and my father has been talking about this since I was born. His trip to Maryland in the late 70s.
Now, your father was a world champion, is that correct?
Yeah, he's two-time world champion. And
when it came to that, now you guys call it opening, we call it shucking.
Exactly.
So he is a world champion, two-time champion, and he was here in 77 and 78, is that correct?
He was here in 78, yeah. So we have an old black and white picture from back then of him up on the stage, this iconic US Oyster Opening stage at the Oyster Festival, which is just beautiful. I can't wait to see it.
Oh,
Well,
it's
listen,
wonderful.
We're thrilled to have you here, and I've been looking at your restaurant that you have over there. You guys, well, you weren't around, but when was this thing built?
It was about 300 years ago.
300 years ago.
I don't think it's going to make it.
So, I'm the seventh generation. So it's kind of,
wow.
Obviously it's had a license. We have a license dating back 250 years.
You guys
Wow.
have a restaurant about as long as we've been a country.
Correct. That's right.
That's
1797.
That is bonkers.
Now, I asked you off air a few minutes ago. You have siblings, and do they all work in your restaurant? It's called Moran's on the Weir, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, well, we're all involved. It's a real.
Now, what is a weir?
Weir, well, yeah, just the Weir village is where the restaurant is, just right beside the ocean.
It's a village.
So I suppose I'm the other side of the Atlantic, looking across at Maryland.
How sweet is that? That's wonderful.
But it's a stone wall there. You'll just see it. It's a thatched cottage, so it's and it's original. They were all houses and bars. So basically, you have a house, where people are living, the family are living in it, and you also have bar. So there was this hospitality that I think Maryland does also. This amazing, friendliness and.
Oh, we're happy to have you.
If I
definitely.
stumbled into your restaurant, is there any chance I could get a Guinness on tap?
Absolutely, we'll have one ready for you before you even walk in the door.
Good.
Now we were talking technique a few moments ago. There is a European technique.
I didn't
there's
know
an
that.
American technique, and then there's the Michael Moran technique, which you do totally differently, correct?
Yeah, there's.
Do you have a favorite technique? It's the European technique,
Yeah,
right?
well, we adapt. Like with every different oyster around the world, you have to.
Okay, that's what I wanted to talk about. Oysters. I look at that, I see an oyster, but is it a different oyster like in Ireland than you would get in Maryland?
Absolutely. There's so many different varieties of oyster right around the world. Like these, for example, that we have here today. These are Sure Thing oysters from we were down in Ruddy Duck last night with Lisa Kelly. It's a good a great Irish name as well.
right.
And so these oysters, these are as fresh as you'll get. And so for example, these oysters, we craft knives as shuckers, as oyster openers.
Right.
They have a saying, oyster openers are the rock stars of the shellfish industry.
That's right.
So, you travel the world, but, you adapt. You make a new knife, you craft a new knife just to match the oyster.
What's the hardest oyster that you've discovered to open?
There's one over off the coast, the far side of the US. It's just off the coast of Canada, a little native, Olympia.
Really?
About the size of a coin, So
Very small.
that was really like surgery when we were competing. It was.
Well, speaking of the surgery, you came in, you got a whole bunch of different specialized knives for dealing with oysters. And you showed me...
I think he just brought him because he heard about a U.S. crime.
Well, could have been, and that's not a bad idea.
Good luck.
You showed me a little bit on how to do this, but to me it just looks like a great way to lose a finger.
It's what I would say to people out there. Do not be afraid of oyster opening. It's beautiful.
I am afraid of it, though. Yeah. I'm afraid of it because
give me a little something.
Yeah.
I'll put one of those
let's
things
see
up.
it, Michael.
Perfect.
Right.
So
again, this is your technique.
Yeah, perfect. I'm just holding the oyster in my hand now. The deep shell is down. I can feel the weight of the oyster in my hand, and it's.
You love this, don't you?
I'm passionate about it. Absolutely.
He's passionate about his oyster.
No, it's great. I love to see somebody who's into their work, and this is good.
So the hinge is facing me, and right now I'm going to, there's an adductor muscle that's holding both shells together, and it's exerting tons of pressure.
Okay.
And in the US and in North America, the technique is to go right down in the hinge, pointing the knife into the hinge of the oyster.
Little knife, right?
Yeah. So and you're going to crack through the hinge, twist the knife. just going to pry that shell open and then run the knife down towards the adductor muscle. Okay. Right now, I'm just going to choke down on the knife in the side of the oyster.
Okay, you go into the side, not on the hinge.
So he's now into the side
Jane,
of the with the quickness, he got that knife in there. So all right, so now you're in the oyster.
In the oyster and on the top shell. So you have the deep shell and the top shell right here. Yep. And I'm just going to draw circles on that top shell.
Oh, okay.
And as I'm doing that, you can just the tons of pressure release.
Oh,
so
I see that. It just
it just opens right like that. So it's just.
Oh, look at that!
And you have all
beautiful.
the juice there, and this is an amazing breakfast. I think
this is awesome.
Breakfast of champions right now.
Yeah, that's a little extreme.
Hey, Michael, what's your fastest time?
Good Lord.
My fastest time.
With the easiest oyster, because I know the oysters are
Give me
different.
one of those oysters. Let me try
perfect.
that.
Thanks.
You're going to eat a raw one?
No, I'm not eating that thing. Let me try to open one.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
You're going to try to open one?
Of course.
I will absolutely partake in a live.
I'm not using a glove.
T, you're going to cut yourself. He's a professional.
Let me tell you something.
He's an Irishman.
Let me tell you something.
Now, first of all, watch your board.
American.
Hold on, watch your keyboard because
I don't need to watch any board.
You're going to go in his way. You're not going to. He's a professional. Go in on the hinge. Go in on the hinge. Oh my God!
How do you get in there?
Go in on the hinge. In the hinge. No, not like that. Hold it. No.
Right, well, let's do that.
Michael, can you instruct Yahoo over here?
Perfect.
Oh my God, he's going to cut
Seriously,
himself.
this looks like a great way to cut yourself.
This is perfect.
So am I in? Is that it?
So you're nearly there. Just another small bit. Just mind your hands.
Okay. Oh, got it. All right, good.
Okay, you're in,
so
you're
now
in.
what? Now
You're
what?
just going to twist that knife a small bit. Lovely.
Jesus, these things are.
Lovely. That's a beautiful.
That's a good one. I did good.
Yeah,
All right.
I heard it. I heard it snap.
Right,
I
so
just
then
had
what do I
one.
do?
They're
Just kind of work it
wonderful.
around
So
here?
I'm going to point out that adductor is right here.
So do I need to be going that way?
You're going to run that knife down through that to get that adductor.
So I got this knife the wrong way, don't I?
You're doing all right, yeah.
Am I doing
No,
okay?
don't do. God, you're.
Just give it another little twist to get that shell. Give yourself a bit of space. Yeah. Now right down through.
Oh my gosh, he's going to cut him. If Michael wasn't here, I think he would be 3 digits shy.
How am I doing time-wise? Am I winning any races? Oh, Jesus, I didn't even get it.
Oh, no.
So just right here, just going to...
Did you break the shell? Oh, you're
snapped
horrible.
it in half, I think.
You're horrible. You
I got it!
He's done it.
There it is.
Well, no,
Look at that. Look at that. Lovely.
Not lovely.
All right,
He
that was
butchered that oyster.
that was
Thank
a
you, Michael.
Disaster. Okay.
So listen, all kinds. Jane, bring that microphone. You can pull it right over to keep pulling it right over towards you. There you go. Now,
So
Jane
how's my
Sypher,
technique?
you're too
I want to see
kind.
you on stage on Saturday.
You're too kind, Michael.
Yeah, T, there's an amateur shucking contest.
Yeah, I don't even know if I qualify for that.
There's no way. Now, Jane, tell us a little. Now, this is the 48th annual. Not as long as Moran's on the Weir has been in business, but 48 years.
48
That's a
years.
very long time. And tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening this year at the St. Mary's County Oyster Festival.
The Oyster Festival will be this Saturday and Sunday. Weather is promised beautiful.
That's
It's
gonna
going to
be
be great.
It's going to be great. We're going to have lots of entertainment, lots of bands, things for the kids to do. One of the main things at the Oyster Festival is the fact that it's a golden opportunity for nonprofits to be able to come out, the Optimist Club, the Kiwanis Club, and be able to participate and make money for charities that go right back into the community.
Because this is sponsored by the Rotary,
It is
correct?
sponsored by the Lexington Park Rotary.
Great
Yep.
organization.
And we'll have 14 oyster openers in the men's division and 4 so far in the women's division.
Where are the men and women from? Where's the
men
farthest
and women
hailing from?
The farthest would be probably Florida. They're coming from Maryland, Virginia, Louisiana,
Wow.
Massachusetts, North Carolina, and Florida. And we're having second-generation openers.
Oh, great.
Scotty O'Lear, who Michael knows, who competed and
Scotty
won.
O'Lear.
Scotty O'Lear.
Really?
He's a rock star.
He's a rock star. He's from
look at that.
someplace in Florida.
Okay.
Michael is opening oysters as we're talking here, and his son is going to be competing.
Yeah, see, you got something there, Michael.
It's going to be great.
That's great. Now,
Yeah, you're onto something there.
now, what is the time now? Because this is a 2-day event, Jane. This isn't just one day and out. Because
Right.
you've got the competition going on Saturday, and also the oyster opening or shucking competition is going on, but also the cook-off, the oyster
we have
cook-off.
the National Oyster Cook-Off is Saturday.
I love that.
Starts at 9 o'clock
People
on Saturday.
are so creative with what they do with oysters.
And the categories for that are appetizer, main dish, soup, and stews.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's blind judging. The samples are taken over to another office. Nobody knows who the judges are. And then the winners in each category, and then the overall winner will be announced on the shucking stage on Saturday afternoon, somewhere between 2:30 and 3 o'clock.
Okay.
The shucking competitions begin at 3 o'clock both days.
It's kind of nice to have this in common with other countries. It really is. The oyster. I mean, it really can bring people together because I know some people don't like them. I love them. I've had them as kids and stuff. And you from Alaska, you've always had seafood and stuff. But it's so nice to have somebody from Ireland, another country that travels and does, and everybody has it in common. It's kind of cool. And here it is in the U.S., in St. Mary's County, we are hosting the national competition, which I don't think a lot of people know.
I know. It's like we keep our candle under a basket.
Yeah.
However, our new Oyster Festival administrator has done a marvelous job in getting the word out through advertising. And we brought Michael over. It was at the suggestion of George Hastings, another oyster shucking national champion, and Dan Parker, who owns Travel Leaders down on Great Mills Road, down in the Chancellor's Run area, who said, geez, all these years we have sent our national competitor to Ireland.
Galway, but never anybody here.
We really need to bring somebody from Ireland back to
That's a good
share
idea.
with us.
Right.
And so that's what we've done. And then hopefully what we're planning to do is to put a trip together through Travel Leaders next year to go and watch Michael's successor. I don't think he's going to be competing so much anymore.
What are you playing a role, Michael, or are you just visiting for this festival? Are you going to be judging or cooking or shucking?
I'll be talking and I'll be giving demonstrations on techniques and
awesome.
And yeah, I'll be involved. You know, I've been judging all over the world, and yeah, maybe I'm getting old now, so I'm coaching and I'm judging now. So
hold on, you got a PhD working, don't you?
Yeah, working on my studies as well. Yeah.
How much farther do you have to go on that PhD?
Well, I'm halfway through it, so I'm even yesterday.
On the oyster?
Oh, it's on hospitality and you know, positive psychology and all that.
Because he's had that restaurant forever, so you know, hospitality is the way to go.
Let me ask you a couple things about this oyster business. But you have competed.
Oh, I've competed. Like I've two world titles and 5
right.
European titles, and yeah. So
your father must be proud.
So is there? I mean, it's like any sport. Is there a training regiment? What do you do?
Oh, there is, and I was 5 years. You know, this was a story that I said to Jane during the week, and 5 years entering the Irish competition. You know, and in my 5th year, my dad turned around to me at the kitchen table. I was leaving, you know, to go into Galway City to enter the Irish competition. He turned around and he said, "Michael, how many years are you practicing and, you know, timing yourself and, you know, focusing on the penalties, having the most beautiful oyster?" And I said, "I'm 5 years at it, you know, but I'm going to win someday, you know." And he said, "Michael, you're 5 years." He said, "You might want to give this up. I don't think this oyster opening is for you, you know." So,
I love it.
Oh my gosh!
My sister kindly said, "You know, Michael, I'll go watch you." You know, and that was, of course, the year I won and broke through, and that was, you know, within a year.
So now you're the rock star. People call you the rock star too. Yeah, the rock star. Now, who is the fastest opener of oysters in your family with your siblings? I mean, get your dad out because your dad's a national champion twice, and he's retired and done. But with your siblings, is there a sibling rivalry?
Yes. I have a young brother. There's a bit of an age gap. He's 16, you know, and he's also William. He's, you know, my father's Willie and he's William, and
coming on
he's
strong.
the baby.
You know, he's the baby, but he's he again, you know,
but you love him, don't you?
Oh, I love him to pieces, you know. But he's you know, he's passionate about it. Of course, he's still too young. My father doesn't really allow, you know, when we were younger, he wouldn't allow us to open oysters because
oh, why? Dangerous?
He was too young when he started opening, and one side of his body was bigger than the other side. So yeah, that was
I got you.
His grandmother was kind of, or my grandmother, his mother was, you know, she was looking at him and brought him to the doctor and said, the doctor was like, you know, "What's going on?" You know, and he explained that he was opening 100 dozen oysters a day. So that was and
the muscles in the one side of his body were bigger.
So we're going to be out there broadcasting at this event. Now, I know nothing about this. So
okay.
what am I looking for while I'm watching this? Is it just straight out time? You get a dozen oysters, whoever finishes first wins?
It's about balancing presentation and speed. So, and I suppose the secret and the tip I would give to competitors here would be, aim for, these are one of the greatest oysters in the world.
Are they? We have some of the greatest.
Chesapeake, all along here, and all around the bay. We went down to Hollywood Oyster, we went down to all the different oyster beds, and when you taste the difference, that I suppose they call it merroir, like the terroir of the sea, all the different, the different kind of flavours and, the minerality, it's just amazing. So, of course, you want to present this like, these oysters have taken over 2 years to grow. You want to present these like they're just perfect, and that the eating experience, whether you're having champagne or, a nice glass of wine and you're eating this oyster, it's all about the theatre.
Okay.
So, the shuckers, this is why they're penalised on every little bit of grit. That it get,
Grit.
Oh,
Okay,
grit.
Grit is number one.
Okay.
Okay,
So, like
no
when I
grit.
was opening my shell, probably a ton of grit.
Oh, no, it was, you weren't that bad. Yeah, that's why, I'd like to see you in the amateurs,
I don't think so.
But, and then you're also looking at, severed adductor muscles. So when you're eating that oyster, it's going to, the perfect eating experience that you're not poking at it.
Gotcha.
And,
Yeah, right.
And then also, that the all the meat is intact, that there's no slices, and how they're presented on the tray,
Let me tell you something.
You'll love it.
Let
Do
me
you
tell
hear the
something.
passion in his voice?
I was talking about this the other day, and I am someone who appreciates their work, and you seem to have a genuine passion for this, and I think it's fantastic. I think the fact that you guys have had this little restaurant and business going for hundreds of years is amazing. I couldn't be more thrilled to have you here
and
in the
hopefully
United
we'll see
States.
you on Saturday. Welcome from the U.S. We're glad to have you here.
I'm honored to be here. Thanks, guys.
Please, the honor's ours.
Okay, now, Jane, 2-day event. When did the gates open at the St. Mary's County Fairgrounds for the 48th annual St. Mary's County Oyster Festival?
Gates open on Saturday at 10 o'clock and on Sunday at 11 o'clock. The preliminary oyster shucking competition takes place on Saturday, and the finals are on Sunday.
Wow.
And shucking will be taking place from 3 to 5 both days.
That's awesome.
One more question, Michael, before I let you out of here.
You're never going to get out of here,
Yeah,
Michael.
seriously, I could talk about this forever, and I know nothing about it. How many oysters are they opening in a round?
Do they have like a bushel sitting there and they keep pulling them out, or how do they do that?
Yeah, so I know most competitions it's always 30. It's 2.5 dozen. And,
2.5 dozen.
2.5 dozen, but here
It's 24.
we're 24.
24.
24. You
Well,
know?
I'm sure it's something to do with the metric system. So are you looking for time? Is that what you're looking for?
And presentation and
presentation.
grit.
So
We
they'll have
don't want grit.
Exactly. They'll have their base time, and then their penalties will be added on. So
What would be a good time?
a good time? You're going to be getting in and close on 2 minutes. I think that's
2 minutes for
2 minutes
24.
for 24 is a ballpark kind of a That's people will
With
be happy
no
with that.
grit.
With a beautiful tray of oysters.
So do you think
You're
if,
leaving those, right? You're leaving those?
Oh, so these are absolutely. We got
they are?
absolutely.
Good
Here we
Lord.
go.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
So do you think you could do 24 in 2 minutes?
Like the thing is, I can't compete. These are the prestigious
gotta get
U.S.
you
But
national.
we're asking, could you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the way.
All these
That's what I'm talking about.
You openers got nothing on Michael. No.
Listen, I think this is great, Michael. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And we're looking forward to broadcasting live. Maybe we'll see you there on Saturday.
Fantastic.
We'll track you
I'll
down.
find you.
Yeah,
I'm
lovely.
going to find you.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, listen, it's 8 minutes in front of 8 o'clock. Let's check the road, see what's going on.